In this presentation I'm going to talk about the right-click menu. Right-click on a grid item and you're presented with a number of options. The options are different depending on the underlying grid item, and all the options affect that grid item. So for example, here on the axial view for a CT slice, the first option is a point control. This will give me the intensity values under the red circle. The size of the circle can be changed by pressing the buttons Q and A. In the case of the CT, these values represent the Hounsfield value. On MRI and PET, they would represent something different, physically different. This tool also acts as a way to change the position of the crosshair. So moving this, if I put the crosshairs on, you see that the crosshairs follow the position of the mouse. Similarly on the coronal and sagittal view. The next tool is the windowing threshold and call control. So here we have only intensity values. It will change the windowing level, so center and width. Moving up, dragging the mouse up and down, and left and right. Up and down will change the center, and left and right will change the width of the windowing levels. It's also possible to click on this vertical sidebar and move the center and the width manually. There is information at the bottom. So C would be center and W would be width. This is a standard functionality in DICOM viewers. Next one is slice control. Slice would move us through the slice for the given projection. So in axial, coronal, sagittal, I click and drag the mouse up and down to do so. Zoom control. It's possible to zoom in and out. Again, we get a value for this. The pan control move will move that item. Sharpening control. Now we get a vertical bar. Here is 0 and here is 1. We can change the sharpening levels from 0 to 100%. You can see how the detail has changed. 0 would show you the data exactly as they came through the machine. There's a magnifier. The level of magnification again changed with the same keys, Q and A. These tools are useful in removing bone on CT datasets. So for example, I can go here, click on the bone, and you can see how I've generated this black line, which is restricted to bone. This line will not render in volume render. It will be assumed that this is air. This is quite useful when a bone is obstructing the view. It's possible to also add or remove the bone by doing a bucket fill rather than using the pencil to draw over the bone. These tools, the second horizontal line is all the annotation tools, and I'm going to talk about that in another presentation. The third line is the current projection. So right now it's axial. I can change that to coronal or sagittal. In fact, going here, so that changed to coronal now. So And the fourth line is the animation system. This will do different things depending on the underlying grid item. So for example, this one, play, on the coronal view, will go through all coronal slices again and again. You see how this line is moving. The other options would be stop or play once or ping pong, where it will go through the slices up and down like a wave, and ping pong slices more, where it will go through the whole data sets up and down. If I do the same thing on the if I do the right click pop-up menu on the MIP, for example, the play will have a different functionality. The play will rotate the item around. The other options are still valid. So, for example, the slice control will rotate the data sets. Zoom is still there. Even sharpening is still there. Magnifier, point control, and so on. On volume rendering, again, the right-click menu is very different, but I'm going to cover that in another presentation.